Hi, I'm Kelly Winn, and this is my Capstone project. So I teach in a district in Starr County, and I teach dance for them. I teach mostly first grade, but what I wanted to do with this project was in order to integrate technology, a lot of what I do is done in a gym classroom. And so I asked around a bunch of people, and so this is what I came up with in order to fulfill the requirements for the Capstone project and also give something to my district that would be helpful for them. We are part of the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. Our district is part of that. And so, what I decided to do was create some indoor recess lessons that would enable us to be able to give our kids physical activity during a recess time, but that we could administer throughout an entire district. So, this is my project, and I hope you enjoy. So, as part of the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, we are required to show that we are trying to get our students healthier by giving them better nutrition and by increasing their physical activity. And so, obviously, during the nicer months, elementary students get outdoor recess during the day where they can go outside and have some physical activity and burn off some steam. But unfortunately, in Ohio, we have days that turn cold quite early and rainy, and so then the kids have to stay inside. In our district, when we do indoor recess, we have either the gym, the library, or the classrooms to utilize. And a lot of our monitors are there just for crowd control. And so me and a committee have gotten together and we've created this project in order to help facilitate some better learning during those situations as well as physical activity. Now, for this project, I created my own mini version of what, as a committee, we will be doing district-wide. So a lot of what you're going to see is based on very small data that eventually, over the course of the year, we'll be implementing this during this winter, and then next year it will be full implementation. We will be gathering better data at that point. So what you're looking at here is the homepage of my personal learning network, as well as the homepage that I intend to use through my district website as a teacher. All of the teachers have to have a district website, and so I've linked mine to my district. And so you'll find some stuff on here that doesn't necessarily relate directly to this Capstone project, but most of the information on here is strictly related to this Capstone. Now, when you see the website here, you can go down to the indoor recess lessons, and if you click on that, it will take you to the lessons that I actually did for this project that I got some assessment on and got some data on. So if you look, we separated stuff out into grades pre-K through first grade because we have preschool in our district in most of our elementary buildings. We also then used grades 2 and 3 and then grades 4 and 5. Fifth grade is as high as our elementary schools go, and so I just went up through elementary, obviously. When you click on those, they will take you to documents that show my lesson plan. Part of what I needed to do for this and for my district is make these pretty user-friendly. And so a lot of these that I used are smartboard lessons. And so they can be used inside the classroom. And what we wanted to do was make it so that district-wide we could have some continuity and that the monitors would be able to just pretty much turn on the smartboard, turn on the lesson, and let it go. And so a lot of these are interactive as well as being with physical activity. So like if you go down to the one that has Just Dance, what this one will do is it shows you that this links you to some YouTube videos that were taken from the Just Dance Wii game. The reason that I liked this one especially is because it really works for any grade level, and it takes the element of competition out of it for a game, but it still allows the kids to be very physically active. And so in the test group that I used this for, it was amazing how well that they did. I actually used this on first graders because that's what I'm with so often, but I wanted to see how it would work. And so they did great with it, even though we were doing some pretty tricky dances. And honestly, the ones that they didn't get very well, they would just make up their own dances, and so it was still physical activity, and it worked just fine. As you're looking through these lessons, also, you'll notice that the standards that are there are physical education standards, dance standards, and then also ELA standards or math standards. For me, it was really important to include standards that were outside of my discipline, but that could help kids with test scores. I do that with my regular lessons, and so that's just kind of a natural thing that I do. But especially in a district that is one of the big 8 city urban districts, we don't have the greatest test scores, and so anything we can do to raise those test scores and to help with the math and the reading scores is always good. And so I knew that our district would like that. The assistant principals are thrilled that that's part of this developing program. And again, it's user friendly, and it makes it really simple for the monitors to just let it roll, and the kids don't even realize that they're learning the math and the reading through it necessarily. Now, in talking a little bit about some of the data that I collected, I performed 4 of the different lessons that I've created. I've created probably about 6 to 10 actual lessons. Some of them are mine, some of them are websites that I found from other places, some of them are YouTube videos, and then I'll talk about this in a little bit, but some of them are our district videos that we have a production class that came out to some of my classrooms, and we created little mini lessons that the monitors in our district can go to our district website and get it on demand. And I'll show you about that in a little bit later. So some of the data that I collected, I did on my first grade class, and one of my first grade classes. We have 15 different elementary buildings in our district, and so obviously I couldn't do these with everyone because it's not my critical part of what I'm supposed to be teaching. And so I just kind of found one classroom that would allow me to come in 3 or 4 times and do some assessment on their kids. And a lot of what I found, I wanted to assess physical activity improvement and skills, but I also wanted to assess behavior, because that's one of the biggest things that we notice for indoor recess is the amount of referrals that we get for behavior and discipline issues, especially when we get to indoor recess, because the kids have been sitting in desks all day, as you can imagine, and so they want to get up and move, but if they're made to just sit down and color some more, it can get a little hairy. So what I did was track kids of differing abilities and differing behavioral issues. And what I found was that some of the lessons that I used worked really well. Some of them didn't work as well. The most interesting thing that I found from my data was that if you give kids a challenge, they will rise to it. And as teachers, I would hope that most of us do believe that all the time, but sometimes it's easy to get discouraged, and these kids really rose to the challenge. Even the ones that are oftentimes behavioral issues really rose to the challenge and did a great job with these lessons. Okay, so let's talk about some of the resources that I used and some of the a bit of my bibliography, and then I will show you our district website and some of the videos that we took on there. So this is where I kind of started. When you go to the PLN page, these are all articles that affirmed what I wanted to do with my project, and so I put them on here. One of the most interesting ones was this one down here where it says principals weigh in. This was actually a Gallup poll that was taken of principals in 2010, and what it says, and I will click on here and we'll see if it will take me to the ERIC website. What it confirmed was that principals agree that these kids need to have physical activity. Taking recess away from them as a disciplinary action is not a good idea. It also confirmed that with the rise in academic standards, recess is getting pulled and it's getting less and less. And so, all the principals in this study actually affirmed that we should be using recess, and especially for indoor recess, it's really important to have that physical activity. I also put on here then, and if you go to the resource page, all of the rest of my bibliography. You can look down through here and see lots of different links to ERIC website articles. I also put on here like how to use a smartboard, because that's one of the things that I'm going to have to do in the future is train these monitors on how to use a smartboard, and then also how to use Screencast-O-Matic, because that was a big challenge. To be able to just figure out some of this video stuff. We did iPod, we did some TV stuff, and we also did some smartboard things. So what I'd like to do now then is take you to our district website and just kind of show you how you can get to the TV shows that we created for this project. Because my district has everything on lockdown. I love them, but it's really hard to get stuff. So I wasn't able to embed it into my website, but because it's on my district site, anybody who needs it throughout my district is going to be able to access it. So if you go to, this is the page that you would see, and I did provide a link on my website to get you to here. Then you go to On Demand Video, and you go to the Healthy Habits, Happy You. And our most recent one, but we've done 3 different ones, and I have them planned for the rest of the year that we will be doing one every month. And so then they go on here, you can click on it, it pops it up, and it will show you then, it's ones that our monitors can use during those indoor recess times as well. So the last thing that I want to do then is take you to my links page. And this, obviously, it has the Ohio Dance website. It's got just some good links. It has our Canton City website again as well down there. But then this is also the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. And this is kind of what I was working for all of this on, because our school is a part of this. And so if it will load here, it just takes you to that website, and it gives you a little bit more information about what that website is all about and what that initiative across the United States is all about as well. There you go. So I would encourage you to just go to this website just because it's interesting, and it might be something that your school will even want to get involved in as well. It's for K through 12, so it doesn't have to just be for elementary, although that's obviously what I was using it for. Great, so I hope that you have learned something about listening to this project, and I look forward to hearing your comments on it. Okay, so have a good night. Bye.